Back4Blood. This walking controversy of a game released in early October 2021. And as I'm sure many of you know, it did not exactly hit the ground running. It was no secret that many people were severely disappointed in the game on release. In fact, many dubbing it Back 4 out of 10 Blood. As funny as that nickname is, perhaps it's time we gave it a second chance. It has been over 9 months now, so I figured that would be enough time to come back and give it a review. So I sat down with my friend for a couple of days and we played through the game, seeing exactly what it has to offer in 2022. First off, I remember when the game first released, there were lots of complaints about it being online only, something the majority of players were understandably not happy with. They have apparently added an offline option, so if that was a deal breaker for you, there you go. I want to give you a quick overview of my opinions. Pretty much everyone knows it was supposed to be the spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead 2, featuring almost the exact same style and format. And let's be honest, everyone compares the two games. Most people also agree that it doesn't really live up to that title. I won't lie, it was better than I thought it would be. Do I think it's a 10 out of 10 home run masterpiece? No. But I will say I was somewhat pleasantly surprised by a few things, so let's get into it. Left 4 Dead 2 is very special to a lot of people, and while I wouldn't say I'm personally in that group, I completely understand where the love comes from. Pretty much every Valve game has a cult following, and Left 4 Dead is no different. For its time, it is certainly unique and holds up well. Unfortunately, Back4Blood does fail to capture a lot of what people really liked about Left 4 Dead. Overall, the mission design can be described in one word: meh. There was probably 1 or 2 missions I thought were genuinely really cool and I enjoyed playing, but honestly, 80 to 90% of them are pretty forgettable. So the few that aren't forgettable are pretty cool, especially this one level in a bar where they play a specific song. I really enjoyed that one. And something really strange is the game difficulty. My friend and I played through a couple levels on easy, and slowly started ramping up the difficulty. And it never really was too hard, until all of a sudden, you get to one specific mission, specifically mission 5 in Act 3, and it just dials up to 11 and completely rolls you. I'm not kidding, we thought there might have been a bug or something, because it went from like a stroll in the park to like a complete street fight, but I googled it, and a lot of people seem to agree with that statement, so I don't know why that is. It's really easy until all of a sudden it's really hard. But apart from that, the game is designed to be a replayable run, in quotes. Basically, you're supposed to rerun through the main missions of the game at higher difficulties to get increased rewards. This isn't an inherently bad design, as it's reusing the missions they already have in the game, which is a good and a bad thing. But however, the problem is, in my opinion, the gameplay and mission design is not consistent enough to justify wanting to do multiple runs. So the idea of using the missions you already have is smart, sure, but the problem is they don't really change, and at the ground level, they're just not really good enough to want to replay. Something that definitely goes hand in hand with this is location recycling. You go back to the same mission locations multiple times, which kind of does make it feel like you aren't moving forward or progressing at all, but rather just going around in circles. For example, there is a street that has a fuel station on it, and you run through it like 3 or 4 times. And although I must say, a lot of the maps do actually have a pretty good size to them, some do feel quite expansive, when you go through the same area multiple times and then the game wants you to do multiple runs on top of that, that is a lot of recycling. The gunplay is sadly really hit or miss. I really enjoyed using the shotguns, which have very good range, a nice change of pace from most games, and assault rifles, but they do feel kind of weird, and most other firearms feel kind of in my opinion. The sniper is super arcadey, and I'm not a big fan of the melee either, but again, it is pretty similar to Left 4 Dead. I was just never a big fan of it. It shares a similar attachment system as Left 4 Dead, where you'd find an attachment on the ground, pick it up, and it attaches it to your gun. In this game, you do have the ability to remove it using the currency and put it on another gun, which is very nice. So that's definitely a plus. But honestly, that's all I really have to say about the guns. They're just okay. Now for the card system, which is the game's premier perk system. Basically, you have a deck which you fill with cards giving buffs and debuffs. People were hesitant at first, but honestly, I kinda like it. It adds another layer of gameplay for the player, something more for them to actually do and aim for. It kind of introduces the idea of builds, which I think is a very smart design choice. Something Left 4 Dead definitely lacked. So if someone wanted to build, say, a tanky melee character or a ranged marksman, they can. And of course, it's not perfect, but it's definitely something. This works into the supply line system, which is basically a bunch of mini battle passes you progress through by playing to unlock cosmetics and cards. It's fine. There are a lot of skins for guns and characters, so it works, and it doesn't take too long to progress through. Unfortunately, most of the characters are nothing too special. They're all either like super stoic, badasses, or just comic relief. And the skins usually range from basic stuff, from like hazmat outfits to tactical gear to street clothes. That's pretty much it. It's not bad, but it's by no means mind-blowing. Now for a few more minor things. As for the audio, sound direction is okay. You'll notice big differences when in tunnels and stuff, as you should. However, the zombies, special infected, environment, and general ambience feel lacking in something. Maybe it's just not eerie to me or something, but it doesn't sound as immersive as it probably could. The lighting is exceptional and the graphics are pretty good. The sound's probably just not on the same level, but it's not terrible. The online co-op and PvP may be a big attraction for some people, and I'm sad to say, we searched for a PvP game mode for quite a while and found no one. So I'm assuming there's probably not a ton of players. I am in OCE, so I'm sure there's less players here than there is in the other servers, but even then, I'm sure you'll find a game eventually, but at least when we looked, we couldn't find any. Some cool and minor details are your character gets covered in blood as you fight through the enemies, and when you walk on certain things like little squeaky toys, they actually make little squeaky sounds. But this is mirrored by some bad details, such as when you reload your gun, no matter what, your character will cock it, and that's really annoying to me. So to wrap this up, my final thoughts. So there was quite a few things that surprised me about the game. I did go in with fairly low expectations, but I must admit, I was pleasantly surprised by quite a few things. And I enjoyed a good amount of time in the game. But if you do enjoy Left 4 Dead 2 and you're willing to accept that you're playing a game that isn't Left 4 Dead 2, you might actually enjoy it. It's better than you might think. I was walking in expecting a back 4 out of 10 blood, and I walked out with a back 6 out of 10 blood, I would say. So that's my rating, a little better than average. Not worth full price, probably worth a good sale if you think you will enjoy the game. That's all I got for today, so if you enjoyed the review, likes and subs are greatly appreciated, and let me know what you thought down below in the comments.